Alchemy, at first glance, might seem like an outdated pursuit, an ancient attempt to transmute lead into gold, a medieval prelude to modern chemistry. But what if this art was never solely about material transformation? What if alchemy represents something far more universal and timeless? Could the alchemist's quest for the philosopher's stone reflect our own search for wisdom, wholeness, and meaning? As we dig deeper into the symbolic language of alchemy, we find a journey that parallels the evolution of the human soul, guiding us through stages of self-discovery and growth. Alchemy, when stripped of its esoteric veils, offers a powerful metaphor for personal transformation, urging us to turn inward and refine our character as we would any precious metal. Picture an alchemist's lab from centuries past. The dim glow of candles, glass beakers holding strange substances, fumes swirling in the air. To the untrained eye, this is a place of mystery and magic. But for the alchemist, each element in this lab holds symbolic meaning, each process represents a stage in an inner journey toward spiritual enlightenment. The primary substance used, called prima materia, is not just the base for transmuting metals, it represents the raw, unrefined state of the soul. According to the alchemical process, this base material contains within it all potentiality, much like the lead within us, our imperfections, insecurities, and unfulfilled desires, awaits transformation. The transformation begins with the alchemist's recognition of prima materia as the starting point, the unpolished essence that has yet to reveal its potential. Similarly, self-knowledge is the cornerstone of any journey toward self-improvement. Alchemy's steps are not random chemical processes but intentional stages that mirror psychological and spiritual growth. These stages, calcination, dissolution, separation, conjunction, fermentation, distillation, and coagulation, reflect challenges we all encounter on the path to becoming our true selves. The first stage, calcination, involves the intense burning away of impurities. In the alchemical lab, this process breaks down physical substances, reducing them to ash. On a symbolic level, it represents the dark night of the soul, the painful dissolution of ego attachments, false beliefs, and illusions about oneself. The ego, with its attachment to identity, pride, and material concerns, is seen as an obstacle that must be transcended. This stage is akin to facing our darkest fears and insecurities, those aspects of ourselves we try to hide or deny. Through calcination, the alchemist, and the modern seeker, learns that growth often requires a descent into the unknown, into the shadows of our psyche where true self-discovery begins. In life, this stage might manifest as a personal crisis or a moment of profound self-doubt, where our constructed identities are called into question. It is only by embracing this confrontation with the ego that we can begin to access a deeper, more authentic version of ourselves. Following the breaking down of the ego, the stage of dissolution involves dissolving what remains of the calcined material in water. This stage symbolizes a further surrender, the letting go of mental rigidity and control, allowing our repressed emotions and unconscious fears to rise to the surface. In dissolution, one learns to release control, to let go of preconceived notions and allow new perspectives to emerge. On a personal level, dissolution may feel like an emotional release, a cathartic expression of pent-up feelings or a re-evaluation of one's deepest fears and desires. Just as the alchemist dissolves ashes in water, we immerse ourselves in our own depths, exploring thoughts and emotions that are normally kept hidden. This stage encourages vulnerability, openness, and a willingness to be shaped by forces beyond our conscious control. Once dissolved, the next step is separation, where the pure essence is extracted from impurities. This stage is about discernment and clarity, identifying the values, beliefs, and desires that truly define us while discarding those that do not. Here, we refine our understanding of what is genuinely ours versus what we've absorbed from societal expectations or external influences. This stage can be challenging, as it requires us to strip away the superficial layers that have defined us. In our relationships, careers, and personal choices, we begin to recognize what resonates with our true selves and what feels inauthentic. Through separation, we come closer to understanding our unique identity, gaining insight into what motivates and fulfills us. Conjunction is the stage where the purified elements are recombined, symbolizing the integration of the conscious and unconscious mind, the unification of opposing forces within oneself. It is often represented by the alchemical marriage between the Red King and the White Queen, symbolizing the union of masculine and feminine principles, or rationality and intuition. In this stage, one achieves a sense of inner harmony, bringing together different aspects of the self. It is a process of integration, where conflicts are resolved and wholeness is achieved. This is an essential part of personal growth, as it allows us to align our actions with our values and desires. By reconciling these opposing forces within, we gain a sense of purpose and direction, paving the way for further spiritual development. The culmination of these stages is symbolized by the Philosopher's Stone, the legendary substance that alchemists believed could turn base metals into gold and grant immortality. The stone represents not just a physical transformation but the pinnacle of spiritual achievement, a state of perfection, enlightenment, and self-mastery. Alchemists viewed the stone as the ultimate goal of their work, a substance that would grant the seeker wisdom and unity with the divine. In a psychological sense, the Philosopher's Stone is the realization of one's true potential, a state of inner harmony and completeness. It symbolizes the highest form of self-realization, where the seeker transcends ego and material desires, embodying qualities such as compassion, wisdom, and resilience. The journey toward this stone is the alchemist's Magnum Opus, or great work, a journey that each person can undertake in their pursuit of personal fulfillment and self-actualization. In modern times, alchemy has found new life in psychological and spiritual frameworks. Carl Jung, the renowned psychoanalyst, saw alchemical symbolism as an early precursor to his concept of individuation, the process by which an individual integrates all aspects of their psyche to become whole. Jung viewed the alchemical stages as metaphors for psychological growth, representing the challenges and transformations required to achieve a balanced, harmonious self. The Nigredo, or blackening stage, for example, parallels the confrontation with the shadow self, those aspects of our personality we typically suppress or deny. By recognizing and accepting these parts, we can integrate them, allowing for greater self-awareness and personal growth. Likewise, the stages of albedo, widening and rubedo, reddening reflect the processes of purification and reintegration, where one emerges from the transformative journey with a renewed sense of purpose and clarity. Today, the principles of alchemy can serve as a guide for those seeking meaning, growth, and authenticity in a complex, fast-paced world. The language of alchemy offers a symbolic framework that encourages us to delve deeper into our psyche, to question our assumptions, and to strive for a truer, more integrated self. In today's world, we may not search for the Philosopher's Stone, but we certainly search for meaning, authenticity, and inner peace. The steps of the Magnum Opus serve as a timeless guide for personal development, reminding us that transformation is a process, a series of stages that each reveal more of who we are and who we can become. And while the journey can be challenging, it promises renewal, growth, and ultimately, a version of ourselves that's not only wise but truly fulfilled. Each of us is an alchemist in our own way, working within the crucible of our experiences to transform and evolve. As we face challenges, confront our limitations, and strive for self-understanding, we are performing our own magnum opus, our great work. And while the journey may be arduous, it promises profound rewards, wisdom, resilience, and a deep sense of fulfillment. Alchemy, then, is more than an ancient art, it is a timeless guide for anyone seeking to understand the mysteries of the self and the universe. So, as we explore the symbolism and metaphors of alchemy, let's ask ourselves, what is the lead in our lives that we are meant to transmute?
In our pursuit of the Magnum Opus, we are reminded that while the journey may be intricate, its destination, a harmonious, enlightened self, is worth every step.